didn't say one of the best things about summer is how quickly your washing dries. It's a con, it's a lie. Because I'm not about to clean it, I've got to be honest. You guys know I love a list. God only knows why I'm about to go in here without any gloves on. It's actually really satisfying, it's quite good fun. Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for joining me today. It is El Scorchio today. It is absolutely boiling and I am not moaning about that. I am such a heat lover. I think it's like early 30s at the moment and honestly, that's my idea of a great time. It really takes a lot for me to start moaning about the heat. I'm aware also for a lot of my non-British followers, you're gonna be like, girl, why are you moaning about early 30s? Like we deal with this every day. And I'm not moaning, but also our houses just aren't built to deal with the heat. Like to have aircon in your home in the UK is very, very rare. So therefore, like in the daytime, it's beautiful. Going to bed at night, yeah, it's not so ideal. But while we're in the middle of a heat wave, we are going to embrace it. So tonight, we are actually heading down to the beach. Connor and I and Archie are heading down to the beach to meet my parents for dinner. We're actually gonna have a little picnic tea on the beach. Obviously we've been walking Archie early doors and late at night while it's been this hot. But I'm thinking if we head down to the beach a little bit later, he can run in and out of the sea and he should stay nice and cool, which would be really nice for him. So I just need to head down to Sainsbury's quickly now just to get a couple of bits to take for dinner. But before I do that, I've just got a wash load to put on. I think one of the best things, no, that sounds sad. I need to re-say that sentence before I get to the bit I was gonna say. I was gonna say one of the best things about summer is how quickly your washing dries, but no, there are so many better things about summer than your washing drying loo. Come on, girl. But I would say that's up there in the top 10 of good things about summer, is the fact that your washing dries very, very quickly. So I'm just going to put a wash load on before I head out to Sainsbury's. There's a little Dunelm near the Sainsbury's I'm going to, so I'm going to pop in there and have a quick look at see if they've got any summery bits. I mean, I'm filming this mid-August, so I think it's a little bit unlikely there'll be anything left in the shops that's at all summery, but I'm going to have a little look. I feel distracted, my hair's hurting. I never have my hair like this, but I just needed it out the way today. And it's pulling a bit, you know, and it's like a bit sore. So I don't know how long it's going to stay like that. I feel like if I keep pushing it forward, it will stop pulling on my hairline. But I'm gonna get a wash load on. I'm just gonna put it on like a 2-hour cycle. And I just got out some of my favorite laundry products because that's something that you guys actually ask me quite regularly about is what laundry products I'm enjoying. So I just thought I'd get out my top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 products and just show you what I'm kind of rotating between at the moment. So this is the little wash load I'm going to be doing. It's a darks wash for some context. And these are the bits I've got out to show you. So where shall we start? Let's start with minimal. So this stuff, you've heard me talk about it loads of times before. It just smells amazing. It's non-bio. So if I want my washing to smell really, really good, and like, don't get me wrong, I always want my washing to smell really, really good. But you know when you're washing like blankets, throws, and you're like, oh, if they held their freshness for a bit longer, that would be great. Then I use minimal. Next up are these two. I still don't know how to say it. I'm actually going to have to ask this brand how to pronounce that brand. Acevi. If someone knows, please tell me. If you don't know, I'm going to go and ask them because I need to know. I wasn't really sure the difference in these two, other than this one's a colour protects. So these are laundry sheets, by the way, if you haven't seen them before. They're like sheets of detergent that you just stick, oh, I can't pick one up now. You just stick in the bottom of your drum and then put your wash load on top of them. So this one I use for colours, and just because I use this one for colours, I therefore, it doesn't say, I don't think, that this one's for whites, but I just use that one for whites. These are just like my two really straightforward detergents. They go on short washes, they go on long washes, they're great for everything. So if I just don't know what to use, then I'll just use these two. And next up are these two, which I absolutely love. These are like their new range. It's like the bigger pods. They look like, whoops, you see what I mean? They're like bigger pods. But I tend to use this one, the Fairy stain removal one, on our laundry. Not on our laundry, on our bedding. I don't have sensitive skin. I think I've mentioned it before, but some detergents and fabric conditioners can make my skin itch. So I tend to use this on our bedding. It's got stain removal as well. And then I use this conditioner with it. Like they pair up obviously really, really nicely. So these are the two I use. Whilst I'm chatting about fabric conditioners, this is my go-to, although I do always like to try a seasonal scent. I haven't got any here at the moment because I've literally just finished off the, is it the Italian, was it called the Italian range from Joy of Clean? It was like the Amalfi Coast range. Anyway, that smelled beautiful, but I finished all that off, so I'm just sticking to this at the moment. And lastly, I've got this Ariel big one, which if I'm doing something really grubby, then this is what I chuck in the wash. Sometimes if I'm washing like my face cloths, which are covered in makeup, like really soiled in foundation and things, I'll chuck these on. Really stained socks, anything like that, chuck one of these in. And again, they're like the bigger pods, so they are really good. But today, what am I going to use for this load? I think I'm actually just going to use minimal, to be honest. I just want it all to smell nice. There's no massive stains in there or anything, so I think I'm just going to chuck it in the wash with this minimal detergent. Apologies if you can hear my washing machine doing its thing, but I just went to leave the house and honestly, this like black dress I'm wearing has just picked up everything. I swear black dresses just show every bit of fluff, every little mark. Lint rollers, I have them literally everywhere. I have one in Connor's car, one in my car, one upstairs, one downstairs, one by the front door. Like I just feel like I'm constantly lint rolling. So I'm just gonna get whatever this is off my dress and then we can head to Sainsbury's and Dunelm. Just been into Dunelm, and when I tell you that was the biggest flop I have ever experienced in there. I mean, I don't know whether I was looking in the wrong places or what was going on, but Dunelm wasn't Dunelming today. It's probably a good thing for my bank account, but why does this always happen? Like when you actually want to buy something, like I was actually in the mood for like a lemon tea towel or something, and they just didn't have anything. Why does that always happen? Also, I'm so aware of these white marks on my dress. You know, like when you have a deodorant and then it gets like white marks on a black dress. It's so annoying. I use Mitchum deodorant because like it is, I know it's not the best for you, but it is genuinely really good. And it just leaves white marks everywhere. And I even use the anti-white mark one. Like it's honestly, it's a con, it's a lie. So if anyone has any deodorant recommendations, something that actually really, really works. I've tried Wild deodorant. And to be honest, I'm not really like, it's probably like TMI, I'm not really like a sweaty gal, although I am going to need to turn the aircon on because it is sweltering in here. I'm not really a sweaty gal, but Wild deodorant makes me sweat, like make that make sense. So I need some deodorant recommendations that like aren't going to leave, whoops. I'm in Connor's car, I don't know how to turn the volume down. Oh, there we go. I'm in Connor's car, I don't even know how to turn the volume down. But yeah, I need some deodorant recommendations that aren't going to leave some white marks, even when they say no white marks. So that looks really nice, doesn't it? Anyway, that was a flop. I've got my bits from Sainsbury's already, so let's go home. There's a couple of cleaning bits that I want to get done before I go out this evening for dinner. A couple of bits I just want to pot around the house and do. So let's go home and get that sorted. So I have just put the food in the oven for tonight so that that can be cooking and then cooling, ready for us to take down to the beach for our little picnic. Oh, hello, that didn't like that, did it? Oh, and I've just realised you guys can see the mattress in the back. That is a new mattress for the spare room, but there's a big fat no chance of me getting that up the stairs without Connor, so that's got to stay there until he gets back. But I'm just going to quickly make up the flower arrangement that I put on my coffee table. You guys have seen me do this before. It just goes in like a white dish, and I've just picked up a little plant from the garden centre. I'll just do this quickly because I know I have shared this with you before. Also, before I show you, I just need to apologise for the state of my garden table because I'm not about to clean it. I've got to be honest, I'm just about to play with mud on it, compost. So it doesn't make sense for me to clean it. But we had rain last night for the first time in like literally ages, and when I say rain, like a bit of a shower, but you know when it like leaves like, you know, it's like mucky rain, does that make sense to anyone? It leaves like a bit of a residue on everything, so it's just looking a bit, yeah, but it doesn't make sense for me to clean it. So basically, excuse my disgustingly dirty outside table. Honestly, look at the state of it. So this is the moss that I have just sort of rinsed out. It's the moss that I always use on this planter, but it gets a bit muddy, so I kind of rinse it out and I just put it out here to dry. And this is the plant that I always have on my lounge table, and I just switch up the plants depending on what I've got. But this is the plant I'm going for this time. It is any plant people, but apparently this was a good option for having like an indoor pot. God only knows why I'm about to go in here without any gloves on. Everything is telling me not to do it, but guys, I cannot be bothered. Oh, that's hot. I cannot be bothered to get my gloves out. Do I want to do this? Okay, let's do it. Oh my gosh, I found this manicure is only like 2 days old. Why am I doing this? Right, little hole. This I watered a couple of hours ago, so it's drying out a bit now, but I'll water it again once it's in. Oh, state of my hands, honestly. Give it all a little push down. I love doing this. I feel like I've made something, which I feel like made something is a wrong thing to say, but I feel like I've done something that's nice to have on the coffee table. Because I tend to go for like plants rather than flowers, they tend to last a little bit longer. So I normally get like 2 or 3 months out of this, and this plant, for instance, I think was $3.99. So I mean, I'm sure it'd be absolutely fine. And also this does flower, it's not going to stay like this forever. But then I just like to get the moss, and it's a little bit tricky actually when it's dry because it's a bit windy out here today. But what I'll do is once I've done this, I'll then water it like all together, so it kind of like beds the moss in, if that makes sense. But obviously while the moss is quite dry, if it kind of catches in the wind, it can fly off a bit. But no, I'll kind of get this all bedded in, run it all under the hose just for a few seconds to bed it all in nicely, leave it outside to dry, and then it will take centerpiece on my lounge coffee table. So this is it now that I have watered it. As you can see, it's just starting to bed in a little bit more, and obviously as the plant grows and flowers and things, it will fill the pot much better, and obviously the moss looks nicer when it's dry and in the right place. So I've just left it in the sun. I'm only going to leave it here for a couple of minutes because the sun is so strong today, but I just want to dry things out before I put it on the coffee table. But yeah, took me a couple of minutes. I know it doesn't look incredible. I'm not planning on going to Chelsea Flower Show anytime soon, but I like to just do, you know, little homemade touches. And I change it seasonally. So for Easter was my favourite one I did 3 bulbs of daffodils, and that looked really, really nice. So yeah, you can just change them seasonally. The sun has just dipped behind a cloud, so I'm going to take this opportunity to very quickly wash the outsides of my back doors, because they really need doing actually. Although we have a window cleaner, they need cleaning more regularly than the window cleaner comes. So I'm just going to shut the door. Now what I've got here to do that with, I've got a squeegee, which I definitely need to get like a window vac. I think I've said this a few times because this is just so old school. I have got a cloth just to get wipe around the corners of any bits the squeegee doesn't get. And I'm actually going to mop my windows. If you haven't mopped your windows before, I promise you, it's actually really satisfying. It's quite good fun. So I've just got my mop bucket from the dustpan and brush store. In there I've got warm water, not hot, not cold, just warm water. Was it about 2 dashes? I don't know what size the dash is, but you know what I mean. 2 dashes of white vinegar and a little amount of washing up liquid. You really don't need much. And then with the mop that I've got from the dustpan and brush store, you can get numerous different heads for it. Mine has got something in it. But this is a head that I don't use on my floors, so it hasn't got like any grit in it. I only use this on like glass surfaces. So basically, I can just use this to wipe down my windows. It makes it, honestly, so quick and easy. Like actually washing my windows, I reckon it's going to take me less than 2 minutes, and then I reckon I've got like another 2 minutes to dry them. The reason I was waiting for the sun to go in to do this was because, in case you didn't know, it's not always the best idea to be washing your windows in the direct sun, because the sun can make your windows really streaky. So washing it when the sun, cleaning your windows, sorry, when the sun isn't directly on it is definitely the easier option. Timings. The sun is literally just starting to peek back through, so that was perfect. Now some of you might remember me organising this chest of drawers in my bedroom, I don't know, maybe 6 weeks ago, something like that, and I said I was going to keep them tidy. Would it surprise anyone if this bottom drawer looks like this? Now the basis of this drawer is still tidy. There are just a couple of things that have been shoved, and if I just deal with those, then I think this drawer will be tidy again. So you can still see there's, I was about to say you can still see there's some form of organisation in here. Okay, when I strip back all of that, you can see that there's still some form of organisation in here. So I just need to go back along because this is kind of like, I've done jeans in the, laying them out in like different styles and things. So I just need to slot all these back in. Is that it for jeans? Oh, I'll put some denim shorts in there. But yeah, I just kind of annoyed at myself that I didn't keep on top of it, but hey ho, we can get it fixed now. And there we have it, another job which has been unnecessarily on my to-do list for too long. It took me minutes, but I just wanted to get that done today. So we are, it might not look colour coordinated because it isn't, but it's done in styles and seasons, so I know where everything is. It kind of makes sense to me, although I know it doesn't look that aesthetic. We need to leave in about 10 minutes. Connor's just got back from work, and actually Archie's got his booster jabs tonight at the vet's, so he's booked in for that this evening. So we're both going to take him to the vet's, get that done, and then go straight on to the beach, which will be nice. Does anyone else do this? You guys know I love a list, but if I have to leave the house with more than like 2 or 3 things, you best believe I'm writing myself a list because I get like anxious that I'm going to forget something. So let's check it off together. Obviously, should mention, my mum and dad are obviously bringing food as well, so this is like just part of it, if that makes sense. Quiche, check. Chicken, check. Crisps, anyone else love these? These are actually one of Connor's favourite crisps, and you hardly ever see them in the supermarket, so when I saw these in Sainsbury's, I had to get them. But giant What's-Its prawn cocktail flavour, we love them, but especially Con. Fruit, I was on nectarines, so I've just chopped that into a Tupperware. Tomatoes and cucumbers, oh, the lid's not on properly, just chopped that into a Tupperware. Archie's food, because it's not quite his dinner time yet, but it will be a bit closer to his dinner time after he's been to the vet, so I'll give that to him after he's been there. Archie's water is just there. Our drinks are actually in the freezer. I got some cans. So I got some Pepsi cans and I also got some cans of Pimm's. How classy, drinking Pimm's out of a can, but just the easiest way to take it to the beach, isn't it? But I've put those in the freezer along with our ice packs for our cool bag. I'm just gonna take this little cool bag that we take everywhere with us, and then hopefully the drinks can stay cooler for longer and they can act as ice packs as well. I've got dog towels, check. What did I do? Oh, they're by the back door. And a picnic blanket by the back door. That is everything we need. So I am gonna get this all packed up, and then I think I'm gonna have like 5 minutes, and I'm gonna wanna just whiz around in those 5 minutes and just do a very quick little clean, because if you guys are anything like me, there is nothing worse than coming home to like a really untidy, unclean house. And don't get me wrong, sometimes when life is busy, that is just the way it is. But if I can find myself 5 minutes before we head out, just to have a quick little whiz around, then I will. So when I said I needed to leave in 10 minutes, I knew this would only take me 2 minutes. I've got like a spare 8 minutes to play with. So I'm gonna get this all packed up, leave it by the back door for Connor to pack up into the car when he puts Archie in the car, and then we can head off to the beach. We are now back from the beach. Sorry there wasn't much footage from the beach, but basically we had a really nice evening. But a lot of these things we do are very new experiences for Archie, and although he was good, it was just a lot for him to take in at the beach tonight. So for instance, where people were sat on the floor, obviously when people sat on the floor, he likes to climb on them, so we couldn't really let him off the lead because it wouldn't be fair on obviously other people sat around us if he was obviously jumping on them and things like that. So we just had to keep him on the lead and things, which meant that my attention was obviously more on him. So I'm sorry I didn't get much footage, but it was a really lovely evening down at the beach. But I think I'm going to finish this video here. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I know this video has probably been a bit everywhere. It's a summer spend the day with me, but kind of focused on cleaning, but a little bit of family time, which I know you can get to see much of. But it's tricky because you watch these vlogs and you think, oh, like it's really easy for people to bring you along, and most of the time it is, but actually sometimes like life just takes over and it just doesn't work. Like there was no way tonight that I could have relaxed with my parents, had a good conversation with them, kept an eye on Archie and thought about what was going on with the camera. Like it just wasn't going to work. So it's times like that where I'm like, should I even be putting these vlogs out? Like have they even been completed properly? But hopefully you guys will still enjoy it. But if you did make it this far, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on Wednesday. Bye.